Hi, Capricorn. This is May, the merry, merry month of May for 2021 for you, Capricorn. And so, take a look down here. We have here our armada for the month, the Capricorn Armada. One giant mothership triangle, within which sits three smaller craft. Three triangles. This one is the blended energies, the archetypal forces, those which, as an entity, form an umbrella over this spiritual biosphere. All of it together is one living, breathing entity, this biosphere. And over it all are the major arcana here that are an umbrella, and they radiate the divine influence to the individual readings, which are the yin and the yang. So let's begin with that, with the umbrella. Let's begin with the overall, because at the prow of this overall, that's a dual purpose prow, the prow that cleaves through the waves into the future along the path of the waters of our life. And the secondary role is being the prow of the smaller triangle, which is just this influence. So dual purpose, but the dual purpose portion of that being judgment, a new awareness, something you have transformed. It's an alchemical transformation of your soul that sits at the head of May in your world, which is huge. It's a big dynamic, not if it sits in stasis, not if it's not utilized, but if you apply it, it's kind of prime territory for you to apply it. And that new awareness, look who comes with it. Well, here's the magician, but then the high priestess. So you go right from the awareness, jump over the world card, and into maybe it's an advance notice on what the new territory for the next cycle in your development looks like. So, I mean, that's what you're playing with. You're playing with a, kind of a threshold moment. Sitting on this side of the threshold, one step before the world, and then looking forward to the point on the other side of the threshold, walking into that new room where sits the magician and the high priestess. So I'm seeing these two as being taken as a unit, a sequence, so that you can get a little glimpse into what's next. But maybe it's time for you to look at what's next so that you move through the judgment portion into the completion of the world. Then you can begin, because waiting on the doorstep there will be the fool. But looking into the future, you see, looking into your particular future. And by the way, these energies, they they radiate down accordingly to both yin and yang, right? So looking ahead a little bit, what you see that little startup phase, which is the magician realizing you're here now in a new phase. And the same old saw wants to have its song sung, which is as above, so below. And then the next portion of that sequence is she shows you how to do it. So he introduces the fact that you can do it, and she takes you behind her curtain and shows you how. That's cool. That's like so aligned for you. And then Yin, let's go for this. At your prow sits the Nine of Swords. And when I pulled these three cards, what came to me right away is that you're also sitting on, you can model your three cards against what's shown here. So it's almost like there's a handshake from the universe, Yin, for you, particularly in a poetry of motion that puts you in kind of the same lower case, if you will. These are uppercase letters here, and these are lowercase, but your lowercase reflects the same process. What do I mean by that? Well, the 9 is before the 10, and the page is right after the 10 of swords. So 9 of swords, jump over the 10, and go right for the page, right? So it helps you to see your future a little bit too. In that, you don't want to hang out in the 9 anymore. It's saying, okay, take what you got, take the prow of your ship, which has been plying the waters. You know what's next. You're standing on the threshold, and the only thing remaining is to walk over that threshold with what you've already achieved in this process of thinking things through, your intellect, that world, and then walk through and adopt the page's newness in a process. The newness, not like it was with the ace through the 10, but the newness of a new viewpoint. And then, boom, what happens? By doing that, allowing yourself to go through the 9, past the 10 to the page, like jump starting it in your mind first as in a visualization, kind of psyching up for it. What comes of that? Well, you learn what you have to let go of. You learn what it's time to leave behind. And perhaps for you a little bit in this month of May, what has to be left behind is a little bit of your programming. A little bit of the influence of the people in your life who have been above you, who have influenced you, and perhaps some of the way they influenced you no longer serves you. And this helps this process will help to define what it is that you need and want, actually, as it comes down, to leave behind. Yang, rock and roll. I shuffled the deck to beat the band before dealing these cards. And then when I pulled them, that's all the cards in the deck. And what do I pull? But 3, not 1, not 2, but 3 major arcana. So you're young, Capricorn, you're operating instantaneously at a higher level, or you're being called to do so. And how about this for a call? This is your card. And so the Saturn component of this is probably saying that completion is standing there, and there's nothing to wait for. Like, what are you waiting for? Let it be complete. Experience the perfect balance of the World card, because what you got to do, your very next step that you're being called to do is exactly the card that stands on the other side of realizing the sense of completion of the world, which is the Fool. So whatever you got going, it's almost like wherever your heart, soul, the triune feelings of mind, body, spirit in your Capricorn yang self. What's already there. It's not something you have to adopt or put on. It's something that's in you already, that's in the wings. It wants to move, and it wants to move into, perhaps you've had a big decision that you've had to make or been wanting to make, and now is the time that you could actually make it. And perhaps, is it hidden from you exactly what the outcome is? Well, the fool doesn't care if it's a blind leap into the darkness, that definition of faith that some people say. Doesn't care. Gonna take the jump, the leap, the step into that world of belief. Believing in yourself, believing in the process. Gonna take it anyway. So it's yours to take. Will you take it? That's up to you. But when you do, he's aware, oh, that over here is the sun. That level, and the sun speaking to me this month in May very much as a card of complete acceptance. The acceptance, the way the sun accepts all that it shines upon. And that means the acceptance of yourself, both in your primal nature and your evolved spirit nature. So the animal in you and the angel in you. Complete acceptance across the board, and that's what's in your back pocket for this month. And it's fire, right? So you're living in a world where you're in your comfort zone. So from the standpoint of that comfort, before you take this step, look ahead into that step and realize that the fiery nature of this sun card is not there to make you feel uncomfortable with the environment, but rather to serve you, because it is within you already. That part of your nature is within you, and now it's time to let it shine. So, yin, here it is in a nutshell. See the symmetry and the connectivity between what's going on in the archetypal influences and what's going on in your world. Look into your stepping into your future so that you can start what needs and wants to be started. And all it takes is going from that level of achievement to that level of completion in the 10, and then allow the page to walk into the scene, to walk on stage. And then what does that help with? It helps you learn what you want to let go of. Yang, you're in your element. Yeah, what just came to me actually sounds like a Saturn kind of fatherly bit of advice. You're in your element, act like it. And that is a glorious thing. It's not a bummer, because your element includes, look at all the beauty and the smiling energy of the universe as it looks down upon you and gets you through May in such a comfortable fashion. So when you act like that, you're going to go, okay, and now it's time to take that step. Take that step into what has also been waiting to be decided, connected with, completed, and walk into it. It's new territory, but be excited about new territory. It's an adventure. And then know the sun smiles and shines upon your efforts in May. Thank you very much for being here. It's been a pleasure to have you aboard. Until next month, Be well. Love you all. Bye for now.